Supposed to appear in Pensacola to face charges of resisting arrest. He's been held in the Tallahassee jail for the murder of 2 Florida State co-eds and has been indicted for 1 other Florida murder.
Ted Bundy. And he confessed to killing 2 women right here in Idaho.
That's right. Before Bundy was executed, an Idaho investigator sat down face to face with the murderer.
Behind the charming smile and all-American looks lurked a darkness that would shock the nation. Ted Bundy, a name synonymous with evil, was a serial killer who preyed on young women across the United States. Remember to subscribe and join us as we delve into the chilling tale of this cunning predator, exploring the crimes that captivated a nation and the chilling truth behind the facade. Ted Bundy was a monstrous person who did unspeakable things. He even said he was the worst kind of person you could imagine. In the 1970s, lots of young women were disappearing in Washington and Oregon. People were very scared. The police didn't know who was doing it. One day, 2 women were taken from a crowded beach, but this time, people saw the bad guy. They said he was handsome, had an injured arm, and drove a brown car. His name was Ted. The police got lots of calls about a man named Ted who matched the description. One of them was Ted Bundy. But the police didn't think a nice-looking guy like him could be a killer. They were wrong. Ted Bundy's life started off on a strange and sad path. Born to a secret mom, he was raised by his grandparents who pretended she was his sister. His childhood was far from happy. His grandfather was mean and scary, making him feel scared and alone. When Ted was little, his mom married another man, and they moved away. Ted didn't like his new dad very much. As he grew up, he started to have dark thoughts and secrets. Nobody knew what was happening inside his head, but something was clearly wrong. Even though Ted seemed like a normal kid to some people, there was a dark side growing inside him. He started to do things that weren't right, and these secrets would later lead to terrible crimes. After high school, Ted went to college. He started at one college, but then switched to another where he studied about China. He even quit college for a while, but then went back to study about people's minds. While in college, Ted met a woman named Elizabeth. They started dating. Later, she would tell the police that she thought Ted was the killer. Another woman named Anne also knew Ted around this time. She worked with him helping people who were sad. These were the first people to think Ted was dangerous. But the police didn't believe them. They thought Ted was too nice to be a killer. This was the start of Ted Bundy's dark secret life. Nobody knew that he was about to do terrible things. Ted Bundy wanted to be a lawyer, so he went to law school, but he didn't finish. That's when things took a terrible turn. Instead of studying law, Ted Bundy became a monster. Ted Bundy's first known attack was not an actual murder, but instead an assault on 18-year-old Karen Sparks, a student and dancer at the University of Washington. He broke into a young woman's apartment and attacked her with a metal pipe. He hurt her really badly. The woman was lucky to survive, but she was never the same again. This was the start of Ted Bundy's evil crimes. He was changing from a normal person into a dangerous killer. After hurting Karen, Ted didn't stop. He killed another woman named Linda. He broke into her house while she was sleeping and took her away. Nobody ever saw Linda again. Ted was getting worse. He started to find new ways to hurt people. He would pretend to be hurt to trick women into helping him. Then he would hurt them really bad. He would take their bodies to secret places in the woods and do terrible things to them. Ted thought it was exciting and wanted to keep doing it. Ted Bundy turned into a monster. After hurting one woman, he couldn't stop. He started hunting young women, pretending to be hurt or in trouble to trick them. He would hit them hard and take them to secret places in the woods. There, he would do terrible things to their bodies. It wasn't enough for him to hurt them. He wanted to own them. He kept parts of their bodies as sick trophies. As the chilling pattern of disappearances emerged, law enforcement agencies in the Pacific Northwest were thrown into chaos. Young women were vanishing without a trace, leaving communities gripped by fear. The elusive killer, demonstrating an increasing boldness, began targeting victims in broad daylight, further escalating panic. Ted Bundy, the mastermind behind these horrific crimes, was honing his predatory skills. With a calculated and methodical approach, he selected his victims, often targeting young, attractive women who appeared vulnerable. Employing a deceptive charm and a carefully constructed persona, he gained their trust before striking with brutal efficiency. Bundy's choice of victims often overlapped with the student population, making university campuses particularly dangerous. The seemingly safe havens of academia became hunting grounds for this cunning predator, instilling terror among students and faculty alike. As the body count rose, a sense of unease and paranoia spread through the region. The police, overwhelmed by the growing number of cases, struggled to connect the dots. The killer's ability to evade capture was a testament to his intelligence and meticulous planning. With each passing day, the search for the elusive predator intensified, but the fear and uncertainty cast a long shadow over the Pacific Northwest. Ted Bundy didn't stop killing. He moved to a new place called Utah and started killing more women there. He even went to another state to kill people. The police were really scared because they couldn't find him. One day, the police stopped Ted's car. They found scary things inside like handcuffs and ropes. They knew Ted was dangerous, but they didn't have enough proof to put him in jail yet. The police watched Ted very closely. They found hair in his car that matched some of the dead girls. Finally, they had enough proof to arrest him. Ted Bundy was going to jail, but his evil story wasn't over yet. Even behind bars, Ted Bundy was a constant threat. Despite facing serious charges, he managed to escape from custody. Taking advantage of his role as his own lawyer, Bundy was granted access to the law library. Seizing the opportunity, he made a daring escape by jumping out of a second-story window. With a desperate gamble, Bundy fled into the wilderness, hoping to disappear without a trace. He broke into cabins and stole supplies, but the harsh conditions quickly forced him to abandon his plan. Desperate, he stole a car and attempted to put distance between himself and the authorities. However, Bundy's reckless driving drew attention, and he was recaptured after 6 days of being on the run. His escape was a chilling reminder of the cunning and dangerous predator they were dealing with. Ted Bundy began a fresh chapter of terror after breaking out of jail for the second time. He had the Sunshine State in his sights this time. His most brutal and widespread murderous rampage took place in Florida. After a terrifying attack on Florida State University's Chi Omega sorority house, Bundy started his reign of terror. In just a few minutes, he killed 2 young women and severely injured 2 more in a vicious attack. There was more to his rampage. He attacked a second woman in her apartment, causing her to suffer permanent injuries while he carried on his murderous rampage. Bundy's depravity reached new heights when he abducted and murdered a 12-year-old girl, undeterred by the manhunt gaining momentum around him. The country was startled by his ability to disappear into the shadows and commit these horrible actions with such ferocity. There was tremendous pressure on the authorities to capture him before he could take more lives. As his careless luck finally caught up with him, Ted Bundy's reign of terror came to an end. In the unrelenting pursuit of justice, a routine traffic stop became a turning point. A crucial development in the case was the identification of evidence that implicated him in the horrifying killings that occurred at the Chi Omega sorority home. Following his capture, the towns that Bundy had terrorized felt relieved and vindicated. But even after his capture, the country was still overcome with apprehension and terror. The frightening truth of his predatory tendencies persisted in haunting people's minds, and the entire scope of his atrocities remained undiscovered. The trial that followed was a media spectacle, with Bundy acting as his own defense attorney in a misguided attempt to manipulate the proceedings. His conviction and subsequent placement on death row brought a sense of closure for some, but it also highlighted the enduring mystery surrounding the true number of his victims. Ted Bundy's execution, while offering a sense of justice, did little to erase the horror he inflicted upon his victims and their families. His legacy remains a chilling reminder of the depths of human depravity and the importance of vigilance in the face of evil. The case of Ted Bundy serves as a haunting exploration of the mind of a serial killer, a cautionary tale about the dangers lurking within society, and a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unimaginable tragedy.